Have you ever stopped to think about that simple bar of soap by your sink? It's probably something you use every single day without a second thought. But what if I told you that this humble object holds a story thousands of years in the making? A story of ancient chemistry, forgotten empires, plagues, revolutions, and the very concept of cleanliness itself. This isn't just about getting clean. This is the story of how one of the most important inventions in human history was created, lost, and rediscovered, fundamentally changing our world in ways we rarely appreciate. By the end of this journey, you'll never look at a bar of soap the same way again. So, what exactly is soap? At its core, soap is a salt of a fatty acid. That sounds complicated, but the recipe has been surprisingly simple for millennia. You need two basic things: a fat or an oil, and an alkali. The fats could come from animals like tallow or from plants like olive oil. The alkali is a substance with a high pH, and historically, people got it from wood ash. When you mix the fat and the alkali together and heat them up, a magical chemical reaction happens. This reaction is called saponification. Essentially, the alkali breaks down the fat molecules into their components, glycerol and fatty acid salts. And those fatty acid salts, that's what we call soap. But how does it actually clean things? Is where the real genius of soap lies. Soap molecule has a very special structure. It has a head that loves water. We call it hydrophilic, and a tail that hates water but loves oil and grease, which we call hydrophobic. Imagine these molecules as tiny little agents with a specific mission. When you wash your hands, the water-hating tails frantically look for something to grab onto other than water. They find the oils, dirt, and grime on your skin and surround them, forming tiny spheres called mishals. The oily dirt is trapped inside the sphere, while the water-loving heads face outward, perfectly happy to be rinsed away by the water. So when you wash with soap, you're not just dissolving the dirt. You're recreating these microscopic packages that lift the grime off your skin and carry it straight down the drain. It's a brilliant and elegant solution to a universal problem. Our story begins over 4,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia. Archaeologists have found clay tablets from around 2200 BC that contain what looks like the world's first soap recipe. The Sumerians mixed animal fats with wood ash and water. But here's the interesting part. They weren't using it for personal hygiene. These early soap-like substances were primarily used for cleaning wool and textiles before dyeing them, and perhaps for some medicinal purposes. The idea of washing your body with it just wasn't on their radar yet. Similarly, the ancient Egyptians, famous for their elaborate bathing rituals, used a substance made from animal and vegetable oils mixed with alkaline salts. But again, this was more of a cleansing cream than true soap, and bathing was often a ritual or a luxury for the wealthy, not a daily habit for everyone. The ancient Romans are often credited with popularizing bathing with their magnificent public bathhouses, but did they use soap? The answer is mostly no. Romans primarily cleaned themselves by rubbing olive oil on their skin and then scraping it off with a special tool called a strigio. This would remove the dirt and sweat along with the oil. While they were aware of soap, they seemed to view it as a strange cosmetic used by the Gauls, who used a mixture of animal fat and ashes to style their hair. The legend of Mount Sapo, where rain supposedly washed a mix of animal fat and ash into the Tiber River, creating a natural soap, is just that, a legend. There's no historical or archaeological evidence for it. So for the Romans, bathing was about socializing and scraping, not lathering up. The idea of soap for personal hygiene was still a foreign concept. As the Roman Empire declined, so did the culture of public bathing in Europe. The early Middle Ages are often called the Dark Ages, and in terms of hygiene, that's not far from the truth. While bathing didn't disappear completely, it became much less common. However, soap-making knowledge wasn't entirely lost. It survived in certain pockets, particularly in the Middle East. Cities like Aleppo, in modern-day Syria, became famous centers for soap production. Aleppo soap, made from olive oil and laurel oil, was a high-quality product that was traded across the world. It was a luxury good, prized for its gentle, moisturizing properties. It was through trade and the Crusades that this superior soap-making knowledge slowly began to trickle back into Europe. By the 8th century, soap-making guilds started to emerge in Italy and Spain, countries with an abundant supply of olive oil. Castile soap, a hard white soap made from pure olive oil, became another highly sought-after luxury item. In France, particularly in Marseille, a thriving soap industry developed using local olive oil and alkaline ash from marine plants. However, for the vast majority of people in medieval Europe, soap remained an expensive luxury. If you were a peasant, you were more likely to wash with just water, or perhaps use abrasive materials like sand or bran to scrub yourself clean. A full-body bath was a rare event, and the concept of daily washing was still centuries away. Hygiene was not a priority, and this had devastating consequences, as crowded, unsanitary cities became breeding grounds for disease. Then came the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries. This period changed everything, including soap. Two key chemical breakthroughs were critical. First, in 1791, French chemist Nicolas Leblanc patented a process for producing soda ash, a key alkali, from common salt. This made a crucial soap ingredient cheap and abundant for the first time. A few decades later, chemist Eugene Chevreul's research into fats and oils explained the exact science of saponification, turning soap making from a craft into a predictable scientific process. Suddenly, manufacturers could produce soap on a massive scale. Companies like Lever Brothers in the UK and Procter & Gamble in the US were founded during this era. They used new industrial processes and powerful marketing to turn soap from a luxury into a household staple. This industrialization of soap went hand in hand with a revolution in public health. Scientists like Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister were developing the germ theory of disease, proving that invisible microbes could cause illness. Lister championed the use of carbolic acid as an antiseptic in surgery, drastically reducing mortality rates. This new scientific understanding of germs created a powerful new reason to be clean. Hygiene was no longer just about looking and smelling good. It was a matter of life and death. Advertisers jumped on this. Soap was marketed not just as a cleanser, but as a weapon in the fight against disease, a protector of the family, and a symbol of modern civilized life. The daily bath became an ideal, and having soap in your home became a necessity. So let's clear up a few myths. First, the idea that people in the past never bathed and were universally filthy is an oversimplification. Bathing habits have varied wildly across cultures and time periods. The Romans bathed extensively, and so did many cultures in the Middle East and Asia. The real change was the democratization of cleanliness. Soap and hot water, once luxuries for the rich, became accessible to everyone. Another myth is that all soap is the same. While the basic chemistry is similar, the type of fats used, the additives, and the manufacturing process all make a huge difference. From harsh industrial soaps to gentle moisturizing beauty bars, the variety today is staggering. And what about antibacterial soap? For years, it was marketed as superior, but recent studies have shown that for everyday use, plain soap and water are just as effective at removing germs. The key is proper hand-washing technique, not necessarily the type of soap. So why does all of this matter today? Why should we care about the history of a simple household item? Because the story of soap is the story of our relationship with health and our environment. The widespread availability of soap is one of the single most effective public health interventions in human history. It has saved countless lives by preventing the spread of infectious diseases. Every time you wash your hands, you are participating in a legacy of scientific discovery and public health that has literally changed the course of humanity. Understanding this history gives us a profound appreciation for something we so easily take for granted. It reminds us that the tools for a healthier life are often remarkably simple. Today, soap is a multi-billion-dollar global industry. We have body wash, foaming soap, beauty bars, artisanal soaps, liquid soaps. The choices are endless. We customize them with scents, colors, and exotic ingredients. But beneath all the marketing and variety, the fundamental principle remains the same as it was thousands of years ago in ancient Mesopotamia: fat, alkali, and a little bit of chemistry. The story of soap is a perfect example of how a simple invention can have a massive impact. It's a story of science, culture, and progress. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound changes come from the most ordinary things. The next time you pick up that bar of soap, take a moment. You're holding thousands of years of human ingenuity in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching. if you found this history as fascinating as I did. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Everyday Things Explained for more deep dives into the objects that shape our world. See you next time.